Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always with my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, buddy?
Doing good with yourself?
Can't complain, man. Everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
Weekend is upon us, getting closer to that long weekend. One more week to go there. So yeah, weather's really stepping
Oh,
up
it's
its game.
amazing. Amazing.
So from all angles, yeah, man, everything is good. Can't complain.
Good.
But and I don't think Canelo Alvarez can complain either about his past weekend activities.
What an entrance. That was an amazing entrance. One of the better entrances I've seen in boxing since Klitschko came out. That was a real cool entrance.
No, it was a really cool entrance. Canelo's first fight in Mexico in over 12 years. Last time he fought there was 2011. So it's been a long time. Came out to 50,000 of his fans in Estudio Arcon in Guadalajara, his hometown as well. So a
Mhm.
homecoming of sorts. Um, and the man fought John Ryder, a man that just didn't know how to give up. I'm gonna say it that way, man. Yeah, he beat him,
Beat him bad.
convincingly. He beat him
Bad.
bad. He beat him bad, but this guy was just unwavered. He just kept coming.
That's what I
Uh,
was saying. I told everybody I took the bet. I put 100 on it, 4-1 odds. Canelo wins by decision. So he made me $300. So thank you, Canelo. But yeah, Ryder's tougher than a $3 stake. He just wouldn't go down.
well,
He
let's
was
say,
game.
man, the 32-year-old four-division world champion Canelo Alvarez, he busted Ryder's nose in the third round and scored a heavy knockdown in the fifth.
Hmm.
Um, Poured on the punishment throughout the entire fight. But here's the thing now. Fatigue starts to set in for Canelo, which is, at 32, like the guy was getting gassed out, and Ryder was able to put together a couple rounds
Yep.
near the end there. Um, I don't have too much of an issue with the judging either. I think 117, sorry, pardon me, 118, 109, the two judges had it. That was fair. I thought that was a fair thing. But the other
Hmm.
judge having it at 120, 107, I thought that was just a little bit off.
A little bit of a
Even if
stretch, but that's
I
the
feel,
hometown.
well, look, man, I feel even if Ryder had taken nine out of the 12 rounds, you know what I mean? I still feel that the decision would have gone to Canelo just based on what we saw with that
Ryder
moment
was never
that
going to win a
occurred.
decision in Mexico. You had to knock him out.
No, well, that's what I mean. Even if he had won nine rounds out of to the 12, right? Like it just kind of, yeah, man. Alvarez's 35th professional fight in Mexico, but like I said, the first one since November 26,
Hmm.
2011. He said it was an historic moment for himself. He was blessed to be there with his people who supported him from the beginning. He's glad to be here and thankful with all his people. He landed consistently with fighting left hands to the body from the opening bell. Right, Ryder measured, some kind of activity to from range and what have you. But at the end of the day, like I said, you could see the skill level, the difference between the two,
Oh,
right?
big time.
I mean, the only difference really here is he's fighting a guy who just refused to quit.
Ryder
I
was a
mean,
mandatory. He had to fight him, and he beat him pillar to post. Ryder put up a good performance. Yeah, everybody's knocking Canelo. He might have slowed down a little bit, and maybe after 64 pro fights, everybody's writing him off now. Benavidez is going to kill him. Everybody's going to kill him, but everybody's jumping the gun here, right? Ryder's tough. He's thick, strong. Like he took a hell of a beating, and he gave Canelo a good fight, and that's what we want. People are complaining that it was a good fight. This is what you want to see, right?
no, it
When
was a
decision,
great
right?
fight. It was a great fight, but you know what? Let's just be fair about it. I believe that Canelo is starting to show signs, of wear and tear on the body and the fatigue. And um, I'm not saying his skill set is lessened in any way, but you can see it now, right? Like a little bit, like a lot. He's a lot different than he was 2 years ago,
Oh yeah,
100%,
that's with everybody with
right?
age, right? But
Well, the
everybody's saying Benavidez is going to kill him. He'll beat Benavidez. I wasn't that impressed with Benavidez over Plant. Plant was outboxing the first half of the fight, and Canelo's a better boxer than Plant. So I don't think Benavidez is just going to walk through him like everybody says, right? Yeah,
I,
he's a heavy puncher, but he ain't not as skilled as Canelo, even at this Canelo at this stage.
No, you know what? I
Maybe
I still think that David Benavidez probably has the best chance of beating him right now at
got a
160,
good chance,
right? And I think
but
just based on the fact that
not
Canelo
writing him
seems to
off.
be gassing out like the way he has
Well, he
been the
punched
last
himself
couple of
out. He was
fights,
hitting heavy, right?
Right, but I mean that's like what, 3 fights now that he's kind of done that to himself, right?
And
Like I
Canelo's
mean,
never had the best cardio either, though. But yeah, you're right.
no,
He's showing
right?
signs of age, but
He is showing
that
sign of
happens.
like, look, he's a grizzled 32-year-old. Take nothing away from the man. You said it, 64 fights, but
Yeah.
it's starting to wear on him, right? Like
Yep. For
he's
sure.
still better than everyone in that division. And what is that saying about everyone else beneath him?
Exactly.
Right? That's taking nothing away from it. But the guy's on the up and up now. Like I said to you before, man, he's avoiding the fights that he should have taken early on, beating these guys. He should have fought Benavidez three years ago. He should have, fought so and so a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
but Benavidez wasn't that big of a name, and Canelo's a prize fight. He's going for the big
Right. But
names, right?
Canelo wasn't that great of a name when he fought Floyd, in my opinion. Like
Not then, but after that, he became a star,
but
right?
but that's what I'm saying. So this could have been that kind of scenario where he fought the guy where he was at that point. Like the fact that he keeps ducking Benavidez is just making it harder for him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
but that's
now,
that. You can say that about every fighter, though, right? He's doing the
but we're
Floyd
not
Mayweather
talking about
playbook.
well, we're not talking about every fighter. We're talking about Canelo in
I know,
particular
but
here,
that's what
right?
he's doing. So he's taking it from the Floyd Mayweather playbook. You're gonna fight the guys that are bringing the most money, and when you feel like it. Canelo's the A side. Benavidez is not the A side. He has to wait. It sucks. I wish they'd fight tomorrow, but that's just the boxing game. It's prize fighting. It's promoters. It's a money game.
No, I get
And
it. But
Benavidez is a big draw if they fought. Don't get me
the
wrong, but
longer
Canelo's
he
like
holds
gonna
up,
make him chase, right?
the worse. He's been making him chase for 4 years, man. Like it's
But he
come
had to
on.
fight Triple G, and he has to fight Bivol next. Benavidez needs to
That
sit out and
that
wait,
fight's
right?
not going to happen. That fight's not going to happen.
That will happen. I think
I
it's gonna
don't
be
think so.
next.
I don't think so. If it's going to happen, I don't see either guy bending. One saying at 175, the other saying no, I want to fight
Bivol
you
will
at
bend because
168.
Bivol's not a big draw. He's an amazing boxer, but he's not a big name. Canelo is a big name. Bivol is going to want another payday, and if he will probably beat him again. I think Bivol will cave, or they'll meet in the catch weight, or something will happen.
Yeah, I just don't see it playing out for Canelo at 175. I think Bivol is right on the money when he says like, look, I already did it at 175. I'm
Mm-hmm.
willing to make the sacrifice and go down to your weight class where you're comfortable and fight you there. I'd rather take your belts. You had a chance at my belt. You couldn't do it. Let me
Yep.
have a shot at yours, right? He
They'll
proved
find
his
they'll work it
worth.
out.
He proved his worth and he proved the fact that he's worth the payday. Like he deserves more than he probably got that first fight.
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, you watch any Bivol fight, besides Canelo or a big name, it won't be a pay-per-view. It'll be a free on TV because he's just not a big draw. So he needs Canelo if he wants to make the big paydays. He's a great fighter. He's super skilled, but he's not a draw that people are going to order on pay-per-view. That's a
Yeah.
problem here.
Well, I
And
don't
Canelo knows that, right?
I don't see him bending personally. I just think Bivol's that type of strong-headed individual as well. So I just kind of see this thing ending in a stalemate. I just really don't see this happening. And if it does happen, it's not going to happen in September, I don't think. And if it
I
does,
think Canelo fights every September, every
yeah,
May.
he does, but he'll probably get some soup can for September if he has to, right? Like, I mean, there's no shortages of
Maybe,
guys who want to go up against him.
maybe.
So you know, it just feels like right now it's such a stalemate. Like I don't get it. Like I don't see why Canelo wouldn't want to fight the guy at 168. It just makes more sense for him. And it just
Well, yeah, because he's not that big.
no. And if he's gassing out the way he's gassing out, for him to bulk up, he's not going to last that long against Bivol. Bivol's got the
Yeah.
formula. He knows what to expect from Canelo now, right?
See, I got to
Now
give Canelo credit, though. He wants to avenge his loss, right? So good for him. I'm not even a Canelo fan. I don't even like the guy, but I got to call it as I see it. And good for him for wanting to avenge that loss. A lot of guys lose. They don't really want to chase that loss. So good for him.
no, yeah, no, it's honorable, it's admirable. I don't have any
Yep.
problem with it, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if the other guy is telling you, I'm willing to come to your house, I'm willing to bring dinner, I'm willing to do everything. All you have to do
Mhm.
is turn on the TV.
Yep.
Right? And, just like, come on, man.
But
It
Bivol
just
has to
makes no
realize
sense.
you're not the A side, but you're the B side. No matter when you're fighting Kettle, it's right or wrong. It's like Mayweather. You got to concede to what he wants, or you're not going to fight him. That's
Well,
just
then
how
I
it
guess
goes
he's
in
not going to
boxing,
fight
right?
him, man. Then he won't fight him. I have a
He'll
feeling
fight.
he won't. I don't think he will. I just have
They'll
a
get it
feeling.
on. It's only May, dude. He just fought last week. They'll figure it out. They'll get it going. Canelo wants that fight bad, probably more than Bivol does,
Yeah,
because Bivol got the win. So I think they'll make it work. Maybe if it's not September, they'll get it on. They're both still
yeah.
young.
Yeah, no,
I
they'll
think
get it on. They'll get it on, and Canelo will probably lose again, unfortunately.
probably.
What else is going on in the world of boxing here, man?
We got Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul August 5th. They had a good press conference there. It was fire. They're smack talking each other. Did you see any of that? It was pretty good.
Yeah, watch it. It was kind of boring, to be honest, man. I expected like it was kind of lackluster in a way. It was kind of like very. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know what to expect from Nate Diaz. I think the only highlight for me was when Nate decided to go to the can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was pretty scripted. I felt it wasn't like, having no fans in there either. I have to agree with Nate. Like, just kind of having media in there was really quiet. I thought, with having some fans in there and what have you, I thought it would just
It would
liven
have.
it
Yeah,
up a bit,
they should have had a live audience.
right? But I think, Jake's reaction to Nate leaving, that was kind of funny. But I mean, in terms of the burns and in terms of like the shit talk, I think it felt forced. I felt from Jake's side. Nate's just Nate,
Well,
right?
yeah, they're entertainers. They're trying to entertain, right?
No,
They
but
wouldn't. These guys are known for trash talk, so they're
yeah,
gonna
but
put
it,
it up,
it didn't even
right?
feel good. Like I've seen them do better trash talk in other fights, right? Like I mean, I have no expectations from Nate Diaz because you know what to expect from him. He's going to be the same every fucking press conference.
And he's old now.
And he's
He's old.
older, right? So Jake, I felt that he was trying to push it a little too hard. But I mean, all the right things were said. It was fun. It's a nice little build up. I
Yeah, I
wish there
enjoyed
was
it.
some fans in there. That's all I would have to say. Did you see
Yeah,
that um press conference with Don King and Fulton?
I seen that. Yeah,
The hell was that?
I don't know what they're doing. Don King is he's one of a kind guy, man. He's always waving that flag, and I don't know. I'm not sure what they were doing there, to be honest. I didn't watch all of it, but I did see it this morning. Yeah,
I put in 5 minutes of it. I put 5 minutes of my time into it. I'm like, what? I don't get this. This makes no sense at all, man. Like, just there's nothing here of substance. Um, Don King, I don't know what to say about that guy. Not much to
just
say.
he's
I
a great entertainer, man. I have to give him that. He's
you
hilarious.
hear the story where Mike Tyson beat him up in the car or something, or kicked him in the car?
Yeah, I heard about that back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, no, Don King's hilarious, man. I'd love to have him on the podcast because he's one of the most entertaining guys. He's always waving the flag and smiling, and he's always selling you something. Like he's done some bad things, I get it, but he's entertaining. You gotta
Some
give him.
bad things. That guy's probably destroyed more people in boxing under his tutelage than
He's ripped
anyone
up a
else,
lot of people. Yeah,
right?
some people say good things about him, like Steve Cunningham said good things about him.
But actually, Steve said as soon as he got into that contract, he realized he had to get out.
Yeah, but he didn't say anything bad about him. Though. He said,
No,
don't
he
pay
didn't say
some
anything
money. He
bad
was
about him.
good, but so
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone will badmouth anybody like that, right? I mean, the guy's been around forever. I mean, if you go back in the annals of history and time, his picture, you'll see his face in the background. You know what I mean? So,
well, the thing is, look at Bob Arum is older than Don King, and Don King only has like C or B level shows, where Arum is still doing A+ shows. So it goes to show you, he just kind of blackballed himself out of the game by just doing all that shady business. So he
well,
did
I
it to
mean,
himself.
absolutely. I mean, he's connected to no network or anything, right? So, I mean,
Yeah,
where's
he's
he putting his
hilarious. Let's
fights
hearing him
on?
talk. He cracks me up. He's such a funny guy. But yeah, he's done some shady business. Absolutely.
No, for sure, for sure. Lomo and Haney are coming up next weekend, man. We'll do a review, a preview on it. But are you excited? What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel as we're a couple weeks out now?
I'm excited, and I was actually checking the betting odds today, and it's 3-1 for Lomo to win by decision, and that's the fight That's what I'm taking. That's the bet I'm going to take. I got Lomo winning by decision. Everybody is on Haney. Everybody said he's too big, he's too strong, all these things, and he probably is. But when everybody's on one fighter, I kind of lean the other way because it's almost too good to be true. I wouldn't be surprised if Haney wins. I'm putting my money on Lomo. I think he wants to get all the belts. This might be his last hurrah. But I agree that Haney should be favored. He probably is a little more skilled at this age. If 5 years prior, then Lomo would have the floor with him. But he's
Yeah.
older. It's gonna be an awesome fight.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go the
And
other
you
way.
can order the fight on YouTube now. So I think it's the first boxing fight on YouTube where if you don't have, a TV or a subscription, you can just order it on YouTube. So that's kind of cool.
Well, it's more for the Ukrainian side.
It's in
What's
Canada
his name?
too.
And Usyk had done the same thing. Well, if it's on YouTube, you can get it worldwide at that point. But it's
No,
off
not the
the.
ones in the States. They block them off to the States.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
I
that's
don't.
what's cool. It's the first one in Canada, a boxing paper they can order on YouTube. So if you're at grandma's house, you don't got a TV or whatever you do on your laptop, kind of cool. Instead of streaming and getting all choppy.
Right, right, right. Okay,
What are your
so
thoughts on the fight?
well, I mean, we're kind of early into it. I'm gonna start looking deeper into it now and just kind of check out,
Mhm.
some of the things that I can find online now that we're kind of getting closer. Um, I'm gonna still stick with what I thought in the beginning. I still think Haney in by decision. I don't think anyone's
Yeah.
gonna get knocked out here. This is
No, I
gonna
don't
be
think so.
this is gonna be 12 rounds. I think if there's any stoppage, it's gonna be the corner that stops it or the referee stopping
Yeah.
it, TKO, right? But I don't think anyone's gonna get slept here. But I just do feel that 3 years ago, I would have completely agreed with you in terms of Lomo against Haney. I just think in terms of skill and
Yeah.
whatnot, Haney's just improved so much.
Well, he's an
And
awesome. He's amazing.
right. And I take nothing away from Lomo. The guy's amazing in his own right, but he is a little bit older. He's a little bit
Giving up a lot of
slower.
size too.
He's given up a lot of size as well, but that really doesn't make a difference in most things anymore. Like, let's look at what we saw. I mean, Henry Cejudo against Aljamain on this past weekend from UFC. There's a huge size difference there. Henry's 5'4", Aljamain's almost like 6 feet tall, right? You know, to hold his own against him that way. He didn't win. Some argue that he did, but you know, that's a different show. But the same kind of scenario here. I just feel that the distance and I think the defensive skills that Haney has developed over the last 3 years has improved greatly, which is going to make it even harder.
Yeah, I can't argue that either way. You saying Haney's good, I can't really argue. As my gut's telling me Lomo, and I want him to win, but
yeah, no, Lomo's going to be
Haney's a
fighting.
monster, one of the best in the world.
Lomo's going to be fighting with heart. He's going to be fighting with a lot of emotion. You know, there's a lot that's been going on for him, right? I mean, honestly, he didn't look that great in his last fight.
No,
and
he didn't.
I don't want to base anything off his last fight, right? But I mean, we're doing that with Canelo in a way. A lot of people are like, is this the same
one less
Canelo,
Lawrence.
right?
We're just nowadays we just write these guys off. Like these are still some of the best fighters of all time. So I don't write them off.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone's writing off Canelo, bro. I just think it's people are starting to see not cracks in the armor, but you can start to see, you know, and you know, yes, he's 32 years old, and I get that 100%. But like you said, 64 fights, right?
Pro fights.
I mean, you know, the guy's been fighting since he was 15 years old. So where a man who's been fighting for 15 years, starting his professional career at 24, would start feeling this way at 38, 39, right?
That's nothing with Lomo too. He's what, 34, 35. He had so many amateur fights. He's got a lot of miles in the body too. He had way too many amateur fights.
Oh, dude, so many amateur. So I mean, so many amateur fights. You know, we can talk about that too at some point. You know, like how many amateur fights does one fighter need to go pro? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, but when you start saying 300 amateur pro fights, like, fuck, yeah, I get it. You're wearing headgear, you're doing this, but you're still taking knocks. You're still working the body, right? Like, your body's not protected.
No.
So those body shots are legit.
Plus, you're hurting your hands too. You're damaging your hands.
Plus, you're hurting your hands and all of it, right? So, you know, I almost feel like the guys who have no training, like have really no amateur background, you know, do they fare better, or do the guys with the amateur background fare better? It's hard. It's a hard one because
gotta be like a happy medium. You don't want too many amateur fights, and you've logged so many miles in your body when you go into the pros. I think it's got to be a happy medium.
But those amateur fights also craft your skill. You know what I mean?
They do, but you know, wouldn't Lomo have a couple? What did he have? 100 of them? 200 of them? That's too much.
I think he had over 200.
Yeah, that's insane. Then he's in the pros, and look at his pro fights. He only had like 20 pro fights.
Right?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Right. But I mean, the guy's going to be fighting with emotion, but I do feel that Haney's just going to walk away with it. I mean, if I'm Devin Haney, I have a huge chip on my shoulder because this pound for pound list is just getting more and more ridiculous week by week, month by month.
It's crazy.
What does this man have to do to get recognized as one of the best? I don't understand how Charlo's on the list since he's never fucking defended those titles since he's won them. And he hasn't even
gonna fight this year.
And he hasn't even been stripped of any of them. Like, talk about holding up a division, man.
I know.
You're calling out Canelo after that fight. You see all the fighters that were calling out Canelo after?
I know. They think, like you said, they had a little crack in his armor. They all want to smash him now, right? Like, it's not that simple, guys.
Well, Charlo, my man, why don't you defend your titles first, bro? Like, I'm sorry, with all due respect, just come on. You're going to strip Josh Taylor. You're going to strip this guy. You know, if they don't defend the title within 3 months, this guy's going on a year, man.
I know. He's still claiming he's injured. Is he ready to fight yet, or what?
I don't know. Is it 1 year? We're getting close to a year, right?
Pretty close, man.
Because he won
it over a year.
Was it June? Was it June or July? I can't recall, but I think we're getting close to it, right? Like 1 year, you have not defended your titles.
Hey, at least Canelo fights twice a year, man. I got to give the guy that, which is a lot for today's standards of some of these guys, right?
Well, I think about it, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a different breed of man. Honestly, I'm not taking anything away from their fighting prowess or their
some of the promoters too holding back and with the money too, but yeah.
Well, I mean, the promoters are probably the worst culprits of boxing. I don't care what you think about Bob Arum, Eddie Hearns, or Heyman. You know, all three guys are doing their job, but they are the biggest reasons that boxing's fucked up as much as it is. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Look, they all play their role, right? They're all
Yeah.
trying to do the right things, and they come out like Bob Arum says, "Yeah, we're gonna make the Lomo payday fight at this price, so everyone can afford it." But and I almost feel that's just like throwing shade at or throwing the sun in your eyes, or throwing shade at you, or the Fuji salt into the eyes to kind of deter you from what's actually happening. Like
At least they're
Andrew.
making that fight. That's a big fight for Undisputed. That's a big fight for
No,
Dog, right?
no, they're making it. But then again, Aaron's making that fight because he loves Lomo so much. He could care less if he has Haney on his roster. He just
Mm-hmm.
wants Lomo. Lomo,
He said he's the
Lomo,
most
Lomo,
talented
Lomo.
fighter he's ever promoted, even more than Ali and Pacquiao and everybody, as far as his skill set. That's what he says.
Okay, so you're wearing the Pacquiao hat. You love Pacquiao. You're his guy. What do you think of that?
I don't agree. I love Bob. It's the best box promoter ever, but I don't agree with that. Just because of what 8 divisions, 8 different belts. I mean, nobody's ever done that in boxing. Nobody ever will. Lomo can't do that. I mean, I know Pacquiao has a different frame than Lomo. He's a little thicker. His legs like tree trunks, but I mean, I think Pacquiao has more skill. But I guess Bob's saying Lomo's footwork and the way he does it. But of course, Bob wants to promote him, but he says he's better than Ali, Pacquiao, everybody, just because of his skill set. What he says, he promoted all those guys. So I don't know. I don't agree with it, but Lomo is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Lomo is Lomo. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, okay, so the Ruiz fight might be off with Tyson Fury because of financial demands. What the fuck is Tyson Fury doing, man?
I think he's just going to wait to December and fight Usyk in December at the stadium and say screw all these other clowns. He might fight the Zhang guy.
Yeah,
Wants
but
to fight him.
it just I'm just getting annoyed by all of this now. Like it's good, like you said, we have tiers, right?
Yeah,
At the very top of Everest, you got Canelo and you
Fury.
got Tyson Fury, and then beneath them you got the next level, etc.,
But at
etc.
least Canelo fights.
Well,
Fury's
that's
not
what I'm
fighting
talking
very
about.
well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Like, okay, let me just kind of take a look here
I
and see
think Fury
what's going
waits and
on.
fights in December, dude.
Well, I mean, everything's gonna happen in December, right?
So he's probably like, you know what? Why waste my time? Do it then. Get the big money. I think. I don't know. Maybe he. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't really know.
Yeah, yeah. I
He's not
mean,
scared. He's definitely not scared. It's just, I don't know. Maybe he
well,
doesn't want the
apparently
training
it's
camp. Maybe.
unknown what kind of split, highly popular, dangerous, but it was more than they were. So basically, they didn't want to pay Ruiz what he was asking for,
Yeah, I could see that.
right? I mean, okay, doing it to Usyk is one thing. Okay, I accept them doing it to Andy,
Mm-hmm.
but it just now it's becoming more and more evidently clear. Like, come on, Tyson Fury.
Well, think about it. He put 90,000 people in the stadium his last fight, so he's got a huge head right now. He's like, wait a minute, people are coming to watch me, nobody else. That's what he's thinking. So he's basically thinking, you're lucky that Ruiz would have got more money fighting Tyson he's fought anybody else. Now,
I'm
they
gonna be
see how much more Tyson's making. They want a little more of a fair share.
I'm
That's kind of
gonna
where it's at.
No, dude. I mean, the guy's a former world champion himself, though. Granted, he only, had it for that little time,
Yeah.
but he's a former world champion, right? Um, I just, the more Tyson does these kind of things, it's bothersome. Come on, like, okay, because those two guys, because Canelo and Tyson are on top of Everest. They're the two faces of boxing. I won't say Gervonta is maybe in North America, maybe younger with the younger crowd, but with the boxing crowd, the actual whole boxing crowd, those are the two biggest names. They're the ones in the mainstream media. They're the ones that the common fan will look to get their boxing fix or their boxing knowledge of
Yep.
what's going on.
Absolutely.
So they see this kind of shit from Tyson Fury fight after fight after fight. It's not like one fight. This is 2 in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
So he keeps doing this, and this is all in the same year, right? Like
I don't think he's gonna fight to December. That's my gut feeling now.
well, I mean, you're probably not wrong, right? But I mean, again, Usyk is going to defend his title. He has to defend his title against Dubois,
Yeah.
right? So he's defending once. So where is the WBC in this then? Like I don't understand how these sections work. Where one guy doesn't have to defend, has to
Well,
defend.
Tyson fought what 6 months ago, so he still has a little time.
No. He fought in October, bro.
Yeah, so about 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah, okay, yeah, 6 months. Yeah. So, but even then, Derek Chisora.
Yeah, I know, but they put 90,000 people in there. That's what he's thinking, right? Like, it's the biggest indoor crowd of boxing.
Yeah, but who's going to say this is going to happen at Wembley again? Like you're fighting in America this time, right? It might happen in Saudi. It might happen in the States. It doesn't necessarily mean the fight's going to happen in the UK.
Yeah, that's true. But I think he's
right?
going to wait in Saudi Arabia and do that big, massive heavyweight showdown.
I'll tell you what, man. If that's the case, and if he doesn't fight before this fight, and Usyk goes on to fight Dubois, man, I am gonna be behind Usyk in that fight in December because as much as I like Tyson Fury, as much as I appreciate everything he's done and backed up,
Amazing
um,
entertainer too.
amazing entertainer, but he's just being a real bitch.
Yeah,
He
I don't know what
really
he's
is.
doing. If he's
Like, come
getting
on.
bad advice, if he's just like, why would I waste
No,
my
he's
time with
just being.
Ruiz? I don't know.
Come on, man. You're gonna waste your time with everybody then, right? Like, who's up at your game? Who's at your level?
He should be
What,
fighting Usyk for all the belts. That's a fight that needs to happen, right? So I don't know
no,
what
no,
he's
no,
doing.
no. I understand, but what I'm saying is like, what are you doing? Plain and
Hey,
simple.
Zhang wants to fight him in China, man. That'd be a massive crowd if he went over
Well,
there.
I mean, they're looking for a fight for him right now. Frank Warren has said that they are trying to find a replacement fight for him in
Give him a
July.
tune-up fight. Yeah.
They're talking about Zhang, right? And Zhang's another guy, man. He could be the Chinese John Ryder to his fucking Canelo.
He ain't going to go down easy. I'll tell you, he's tough.
No, that guy's one
Big.
tough guy. I think that's a tougher fight than fighting Ruiz.
Oh, way tougher. Way tougher. He's
right?
bigger, stronger. He's taller.
I bet you anything he fights Zhang in July.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Do it in
He won't
China.
have to pay. He won't have to pay him shit.
Zhang is happy to get that fight.
Right? The guy's 40 years old. You want to talk about a guy who's going to get his final biggest payday in the last fight of his career? This
do
would be
that
the
fight
one.
in China. You know how many people they could put in that arena in China? It'd be insanely massive.
Yeah, they have problems with China right now. I don't think anything's going to happen.
Yeah, I know because it's so corrupt there. But if it was actually a legit deal, they'd pack that place. Probably 80, 100,000 people.
Outside of the NBA and the UFC going there, has the NHL ever gone there?
No.
They went to Beijing, right? I know they've gone
the
to
Olympics
Japan.
went there.
No. But they all had like opening day, or they had some exhibition games out that way too. I believe they did. I did believe they did Beijing.
I don't know, man. Maybe for an exhibition, but not for regular.
I know the Canucks and the Kings did an exhibition game in Japan one year.
Yeah, Japan, but I don't know about China.
But I know the NBA's gone there.
NBA goes there. They do business with China. They're the only major sport that's in bed with China.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to see too many fucking Chinese linebackers, so.
No, exactly. They love basketball over there. Basketball and baseball.
In China?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I know Japan's
huge a pro league, a Chinese pro league, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know basketball for sure. I know badminton. I know
baseball.
Baseball, I didn't know. I had no clue about baseball.
And Japan's is bigger in Japan, but yeah, Chinese got a Taipei League or something like that. It's called.
Well, Taipei is in Taiwan.
Yeah, so maybe it's not Taipei. They got a pro league though. I know that for sure.
I know Taiwan likes their baseball, but I don't know.
They love it. They're good at baseball too.
Yeah, I don't know about mainland China, but Taiwan's got a solid squad.
Yeah.
South Korea's got a pretty good squad too.
Yeah, China's got a pro league too. I don't think it's quite as good as Japan and Taiwan, but they got their own pro league.
Didn't even know, man. Had no clue. I know there were badminton, racket, ping pong, and shit like that, but basketball. Even basketball, I'm surprised. They're not the tallest race in stature.
They're quick though, shifty, right? They're not going to be the North American guys. They're too big and too strong.
Can you imagine those motherfuckers running through like LeBron's legs and shit?
Oh, LeBron would just knock them on their butt, right?
No, but they're so little.
Yeah, so that's why they love their basketball there.
Fucking crazy. So yeah, Zhang stopped Joyce in the 6th round and completely exposed him, eh?
Oh,
so I mean, I wonder what he would do against Tyson. I think that would be
Joyce called for his instant rematch, by the way, so that might be going down too instead of Fury.
Well, Joyce wants to redeem himself, right? Everyone who loses wants to redeem themselves, right? But this guy decided not to show up. I think that's the first fight I've seen in a long time where the guy was there, but he didn't show up.
Yeah, and then Joyce is not going to beat him next time. Getting being that bad, you're not going to beat him. It could happen, but it's unlikely.
Look, I look at it this way. If you can't handle a southpaw at this level, at this time of your career, you're never going to be able to handle a southpaw.
Zhang was supposed to be a tune-up fight for Joyce to step up to the U6 and Furies, and he got smashed.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think, like I said, right now we are eyeing that, right? Let's get this thing going on. And
that'd be cool to see.
Where are we right here? This is we just need to see fighters fighting again. And we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, right? Lomo and Haney's a good one.
Lomo and Haney's a good one.
Tank
and Garcia was okay. I mean,
yeah.
It didn't, it wasn't what it could have been. Right? There's a lot of hype on it.
A little bit overhyped. That's why. But still, it wasn't bad.
It's like Oscar's saying right now. It was another article that I just came across. Oscar is asking Ryan to take boxing more seriously. You know, like, I mean, maybe Oscar needs to take his job as a promoter more seriously and support your fighter and actually be there at the press conference.
Yeah, I don't believe that death threat stuff with all the security and stuff there. Come on, dude.
You're in the bowels of the
They were
fucking,
disappointed in him that he went down like that. That's what it was.
yeah. And
So
so if I, you know, like, if I'm him, I'm looking for a new promoter. You
yeah,
don't
when
want that guy in your corner.
he could pick of the litter whoever he wants to take him because he's a big draw. He's like the most followers on social media of all the boxers.
I think, like, I know he's talking to I know he's talking to Eddie Reynoso and those guys again, looking to go back to Canelo team. But you know who I'd love to see him work with?
Who's that?
Ford.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, I think he's gonna stick with Oscar though, because he's like the new Oscar, the young,
No,
good
no, no,
looking
no,
guy.
no.
But
Trainer.
yeah, I know what you're saying. But I'm just talking
Right?
about the promotion side. I think he's gonna stay with.
Yeah, no, I think he will too. I believe he is too, but I just feel that after that, like if I'm him, and I'm not, I'm just me, but if I was put in that scenario or that situation and I come out after that, like I just fucking made you guys a shitload of money.
Mm-hmm.
I just guaranteed your girlfriends new purses and jewelry and everything they could want. Because I lost, you didn't show up to the press conference? Come
No
on,
death
man.
threat with event security there and their own private security. Come on,
You're in the building still.
I know they're in the
If
building.
someone was gonna whack him, they would have whacked him in the crowd.
It's an excuse to get out of there. They're disappointed how the fight, and then they left. Hopkins did the same thing.
Bad move on their parts, man.
Was
Lost marks on my books, you know. Like Oscar the Boxer will always be one of my favorites.
mm-hmm.
But this incarnation of Oscar the post boxer is a bit of a dick.
He can be. Yeah, sometimes he comes out, he's cool and calm and has a good press conference. Other time he does some strange stuff.
And that's when he's smoking the snow.
Yeah, probably still is. He's a heavy drinker too, big time alcoholic.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, brother man, I tell you what, we've kind of basically covered everything here. We've had a fun little go at it. So I put the question out to the fans. Is Canelo starting to show signs of diminishing? Not to say that he's getting worse or anything like that, but is he starting to slow down? And is it John Ryder being so fucking gutsy and just so relentless that made it look like that? Or is it legitimately a sign of Canelo slowing down? Love to hear what you guys have to think or say about it. Let us know in the comments. Other than that, do we have anything that happened today in boxing history, Chance?
We've got two things.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, Ken Norton beat the Great White Hope, Dwayne Bobbick, 38-0, 1972, knocked him out first round. After that, Bobbick went downhill. He was overhyped, but 38-0 is pretty good. Got the fight, savage KO. And then today is the greatest amateur boxer of all time, Mark Breland's birthday. He was 110-3 with 73 KOs. Again, way too many amateur fights. That's why in the pros, he didn't quite get to that pedestal today. He's 60, so happy birthday to him. Deontay Wilder's former trainer.
Yeah, the guy who threw in the towel. He threw in the towel, right? That's the man right there who threw in the towel. Mark
Greatest
Breland.
amateur boxer ever. 73 KOs and 110-3.
Yeah, he did okay at the professional level. He was a former world champion.
Yeah, but they thought he'd be like the next, like, Leonard kind of thing, and he didn't quite get there, right? He might have been burned out. I don't know. Well, but happy birthday to him. And Norton knocked out the Great White Hope, Dwayne Bobbick, first round, vicious. That was basically the end of Bobbick.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Bobbit. Now,
speaking of that, I'm probably gonna go if I have a chance, which I want to see that George Foreman movie, man. It looks pretty good.
Why don't we go together?
Yeah, we should. Looks good, man.
Yeah, we can meet up halfway. Meet at
like you said, he still hits hard. That's what is he 70? The way he hits that bag still.
Well, the way he hit that bag, but just his back, the size of it, right? Like, I mean, the dude was wearing like the full, tracksuit, everything, but just the way his back was when he was like leaning into it, and it just ripped. Like, I mean, the guy's still huge, man.
He could still knock out a lot of people, man, with those fists.
I think he could probably beat the shit out of half the heavyweight roster.
He probably hits harder than lost some of those guys still.
Well, no, I mean,
I know you're kidding, but yeah, he's a big guy, man.
That guy's fucking
cool guy too.
Yeah, man. I mean, can you imagine if it was the Hulk Hogan grill?
Yeah, he could. It almost was, man.
Right? You heard that story, right?
Oh yeah, I heard that story. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the fans listening, if you haven't heard the story, check it out. So Hulk Hogan wasn't home, and he missed a phone call from the people who made that grill, and they wanted him to be the sponsor. But I guess they made their second phone call to George Foreman, and he said he'd do it.
Up the phone.
He picked up the phone, and now that guy's what, fucking $400 million richer because of
And
it.
this is the day before cell phones. The day the cell phones, all would have picked it up and would have had it. But this is the day of landlines only, right? So a lot of money lost.
George was home, Hogan wasn't, but then Hogan made all his money, I guess, technically after the scandal and the court case and what have you. So
You mean he made it back? You mean?
he made it back and more.
Oh, dude, he's filthy rich now, and he still gets merchandise sales. You go to the WWE.com right now and get Hogan shirts, NWO shirts.
Yeah, you get all that stuff. But I'd be honest, man, I if he didn't get that payout, I don't know if he'd be as successful and sitting pretty as he is today.
He'd be okay, but he wouldn't be.
He'd be okay. He wouldn't be
rich.
Right?
And that man deserves to be rich for what he's done to wrestling. He needs to do. I wish he had his own podcast. I don't know. He doesn't really do many podcasts, but he should have his own. Let somebody host it. But he should be doing that. It's got so many stories. What is he, 68 now? 60?
Well, you got him, The Rock. I mean, that's another guy that people would love to have on a podcast, right? I mean, the only podcast I've seen him do recently, and the only one I can ever say that I've seen him do was the Pivot one with Ryan Clark from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, Rock?
Yeah, The Rock.
Yeah, but I'd rather hear Hogan stories. You have the old time stories. The Rock stories we kind of know, but I want to hear the Hogan ones.
No. But the Rock stories, I'm just talking about the Rock in general. Like he's
Yeah,
one
he
of
doesn't
those
give many interviews
elusive,
either.
right? You know, he's it's hard like to get him. And his stories would be fun too, because if it's anything like Young Rock, the stories he has as a child being with all those guys, right? Like, you know, he was there when Hogan was trying out the headband.
Yeah.
Sort of a deal, right? As a kid. And
then you got to wrestle. Pretty cool.
Right. So, you know, just little things like that. So it'd be kind of fun. But I don't know. I would love to see him do some more.
Yeah, Hogan and Rock, two guys that don't do a lot of interviews. They don't do many.
No. Well, you know what? Let's make it our
that adds their mystique though, too, right?
Well, Hogan, if you're listening, brother, you got to come on to Samp and Chance. And Dwayne, you probably won't, and you're probably not. But if you are, we love to have you on the show.
He does that karaoke every night. You can actually meet them. You pay the fee, get in there. They host karaoke night, him and Nick, and everybody that shows up can meet him, get a picture with them at his beach shop in Florida there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Awesome. All right, Chance, I tell you what, man, let's wrap this puppy up. Let's get this weekend going. Nothing really happening this weekend in terms of fights. Do you have anything?
Nothing major. No, a couple just small-time fights or no major fights.
Scroll up here and let's just take a look at the schedule. We owe it to the fans. So May the 12th, this Saturday, Zorro versus Burton. May the 12th on Fight TV. You can get Chevelle versus Reyes. May 13th, Romero versus Barrios.
Oh, that was this weekend?
Yeah, this Sunday.
Okay. There you go. That's a good fight.
What do you think?
Check it out. Who's going to win?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I haven't really broke it down yet. I thought it was the weekend after, but
no, the next weekend's the big one.
I know, but I thought their fight was I know it's a Haney one. I thought their fight was on that following Sunday, but it's this Sunday.
Yeah, I know it's this Sunday, and the next weekend you got Katie Taylor fighting in Ireland during the day, and then you nightcap it with the Lomo and Haney fight.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I wish I was at that fight, to be honest.
So these guys are fighting on Sunday, eh?
Yeah, were they fighting in England?
No. Who?
The Sunday card you're talking about. Where is that?
Oh, Saturday. Sorry. This Saturday, May 13th is Saturday.
Yeah, that's Saturday.
Sorry. Tomorrow's the 12th.
Yeah.
My apologies. Yeah, no, Romero Barrios.
I think it's on DAZN.
That's actually Showtime.
Is it on Showtime? Okay.
Yeah. Both guys belong to Showtime. And it's not pay-per-view.
No, it's a free fight. Nobody's gonna buy that.
No. Should be interesting. I ran into Romo when we were in Vegas there. Got a picture with him. He had this little snarl. Guy's always on, man.
Yeah, he is.
I wonder what he's like in real life. Like, is he chill, calm?
It's hard to say, but yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
Do you think he speaks with that squeaky voice, or do you think he really actually has a deep voice?
I think that's his natural voice, man.
I know. All right.
Well, that'll be a good fight.
Guys, we got Romero versus Barrios this weekend. Romero's first fight since getting knocked out. I'll leave you with this, Chance. This guy keeps getting knocked out in sparring. Is there something to it? I wouldn't be surprised if Barrios knocks him out.
If you keep getting knocked out in sparring, man, there's something wrong with your chin and your head. So this might be one of his last fights.
Let's find out, man. The guy's really young, so let's see what he does. And he's fighting for a title, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. I
All
thought it was
right.
next weekend, but yeah, I'm excited
No,
for
no,
it.
it's this weekend. This weekend. Good thing we looked. All right, guys and gals, thank you so much for all your support and everything that we have been doing. Boxing seems to be putting food on the table is here, Chance. So let's just keep rocking it out. We
Yeah.
have some guys on the line. We're just waiting for some confirmations to get some more interviews in here. And up until then, guys, we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. Samp and Chance out.